Hello, admitted students. My name is Bob Calin-Jageman. I'm a professor of psychology, and I'm the director of the neuroscience program at Dominican University. On behalf of all the faculty here at Dominican, I wanted to say to you, congratulations. You should be proud of your acceptance to Dominican and of all the hard work that it represents. And I also want to say to you, welcome to the family. Now, I wish I was offering you this welcome in person in the Lund Auditorium in our beautiful campus. I could meet your family, I could answer your questions, we could talk about your classes for next semester. But instead, I'm here in my basement and you're watching from your phone or your tablet. And that makes it a bit difficult for me to really convey to you what a special place Dominican is. But if you'll excuse the bad lighting and my corny graphics, I'll do my best. And together we can look forward to the excitement that you will feel in the fall as you start your journey at Dominican. Now, who are the faculty that are welcoming you? In a given year, there are over 400 different faculty members who teach courses here at Dominican University. So like you, we faculty are a diverse group. We come from different places, we come from different families, speak different languages, practice different religions. What do we have in common? What unites us? Well, for one, almost all the faculty who you will meet here at Dominican have a PhD or whatever degree is highest available for their field of study. And that just basically means that we're nerds. No, not that kind of nerd. Yeah, that kind of nerd. Yeah. What I mean really is that each of us has found something, the study that we just love so much that we had to spend years of our time and our effort to become experts at it. Some of us are obsessed with math, some with science, some with healthcare or nutrition, education. Others with chemistry or business, making money, restaurant managers, design, art, music, theater, equity and social justice, accounting, psychology, history, culture, theology, biology, improving our community. In fact, with so many passionate people here on campus, Dominican can offer you over 50 different majors and programs to select from. And when you come to Dominican, the other thing that you'll find out that the faculty have in common is a passion for sharing our love of learning. Like you, we chose Dominican, and we did so because we wanted to teach at a place with small classes, where even when we're online, we walk with our students. All 400 of us are committed to helping you on your journey. We're going to be here to push you to try new things, to serve, to hear new voices, and to grow, not only in your career, but as a person and as a citizen of the world. Now, there's no way I could describe to you all the amazing faculty I have the privilege of working with, so I will humbly use myself as an example, and I'll tell you a little bit about the types of things that I do here at Dominican. Now, my big passion in life is understanding learning and memory. I'm just fascinated by our incredible ability to learn and the rich detail of our memories. And the big question that's always on my mind is, how do we keep our memories all of our lives when the molecules that we are made up of are constantly changing? And that's a big mystery. It drives me crazy. Now, it might seem a little strange, but I pursue my research passions by studying a rather unusual creature, the sea hare or the sea slug. Its scientific name is Aplysia californica. Now, these creatures are pretty big. They can weigh a half a pound or more. They live in tide pools off the coast of California. Why do I study such a strange looking creature? Well, they are animals, and one of the things that all animals have in common is the ability to learn and to store memories. But Aplysia really do this with like one hand tied behind their back. They can learn basic things even though their whole nervous system is just 7,000 neurons. And that's incredible. You've got 80 billion neurons helping you learn and remember things. And even a tiny ant has got 100,000 neurons helping it learn and remember things. So because Aplysia are so simple, we can actually count all their neurons and actually track how they change as an Aplysia learns something new. And Aplysia are also really easy to handle. They don't bite or scratch. They're vegetarian. And so students who come into the lab can start doing research with them right away. Let me give you an example of what some of our students here at Dominican have been able to figure out about learning and memory by studying sea slugs. So this is Benora McBride. She was a class of 2011. Benora took a neuroscience class and just got hooked. And so she's already come into the lab and started working in the lab with the sea slugs. And she developed a really cool research question. Does cramming work? Now, Benora was interested in this because she was in organic chemistry at the time, and she could see that some students studied pretty much like every day, and other students would just wait till right before the exam, and then they'd try to cram all their studying in at the end. And what Benora wanted to know is, does this matter? Does it work? So to find out, Benora tested what is called habituation memory in sea slugs. Habituation is learning that something is safe or not a threat. So if you were to walk in the lab and touch one of the sea slugs, it would see you as a threat at first. It would curl up in a ball, usually for about 8 or 9 seconds or so. But if you were to touch it again, it would be a little less stress and would curl up for a little less time. And if you work at it, you can train an animal to remember that you are not a threat and that it can keep this memory for several days. So Benora designed an experiment, and that experiment included 2 groups. One group was the steady learners. Every day for 3 days, Benora came in to work with these animals and to teach them that she was not a threat. The other group used cramming. They goofed off the first 2 days, but then they did a ton of training on the 3rd day. The key question came on the 4th day, day 4. Would these animals remember what they had been learning that week? So let's find out. So here we can see the data from the end of the 1st day. Now the crammers haven't learned anything. Of course, they've been goofing off all day. But the steady learners, they were now curling up a bit less. They were starting to learn that Benora was not a threat. So that looks cool. It looks like steady learning is winning. But when Benora came back the 2nd day, the differences didn't seem that big. The memory of Benora had faded a good bit for the steady learners. And that's typical. You probably have that same experience. You're in physics, you remember something, it seems really clear, you walk out and it all starts to leak out of your head. So the steady learners had forgotten a good bit, but they went back to work on day 2. And by the end of day 2, you could see that they were remembering Benora quite well enough that when Benora came at the beginning of day 3, they had a pretty good memory of her and they knew that she wasn't a threat. Now day 3 is critical. This is when the cramming group finally gets into the game and puts in some effort. And they crammed for 4 solid hours that day, enough to make up all the same work the other animals had done over the course of the week. And at the end of that day, right then, at the end of cramming, it looked like they had caught up. But the critical thing was what would happen on the exam the next day. What happens when you crammed all night, you take that quick cat nap, you get up the next day and take the test. And here, the critical test showed that the memory the crammers had formed just wasn't very strong. It faded by the very next day. It was the steady learners who had worked at it repeatedly that had the long-lasting memory. Now, this pattern that Benora observed turns out to be the rule across the whole animal kingdom, including us. Making a long-lasting memory takes some real effort and some practice that is spread out over time. So that's a good study tip to remember when you get here in the fall. Now, Benora's passion for this project took her places she had never imagined when she started. She won a research scholarship. And then that let her go to an international meeting and present her research to other scientists. And from that, she wrote a paper and it was published in a scientific journal. Now, what's more important than all those individual accomplishments is that by working on a project she loved, Benora loved developing skills that turned out to be really valuable. Time management, working with teams, data analysis, communication. And that's why she's been such a tremendous success after graduation. And that's why the students that worked on this project have all gone on to pretty amazing things. And that's why I'm so excited to welcome you to Dominican. Are you going to develop a passion for sea slugs? Maybe. But I know that you will meet someone here who can help you find out what you are passionate about. You will meet a faculty member who can help push you and challenge you and root for you along the way. And that's what's so special about this place. So welcome to the Dominican family. We are very excited you'll be a part of it, and we're looking forward to better times with you in the fall.